Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to today's education-based IHSAA Varsity Boys baseball game. This radio coverage is made possible through audiosportsonline.net. That's ASO. Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show, weekday mornings, 9 to noon on 93.1 FM, or go to WIBC.com. Today's game features the Twin Lakes Indians as they visit the Central Catholic Knights. It'll be the second game of a two-game set for the Hoosier Conference Division. As we'll mention, the Knights captured the win in Game 1. That was at Twin Lakes High School in Monticello. Right now on the field, getting warmed up, the pitcher for Central Catholic. Tonight, it's Vince Talenko. Vince Talenko wears number 25. Vince Talenko getting his first start of the season. This will be his first outing as a pitcher for the Knights in 2025. We'll mention around the diamond for the Knights tonight. It is Vince Talenko pitching, and his battery partner, the catcher, is Cooper Renback. Cooper Renback will play defensively. He'll give way to the DH, Jackson Kane. At first base, it's going to be Lucas Gerke, wears number 10. Second base, Hudson Gutwine, number 9. At shortstop, Mikey Stapleton, number 11. At third base, it's DJ Gilkey, number 33. In left field, number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. In center field, number 13, Calvin Reisman. And in right field, number 12, Alex Schumer. So they're getting ready to throw one down, getting ready to bat here in the top of the first inning. First three batters for Twin Lakes tonight going to be number 2, Cooper Dold. He'll be the leadoff batter in today's ball game. He'll play center field. Second batter in the lineup, number 27, Mason Brummett. Mason Brummett will be on the mound today. Third batter in the lineup wears number 6. That's Carson Wagner. He's the captain of Twin Lakes Indians baseball team. He'll play shortstop. So they're getting ready to bat, getting ready to start the ball game here on a Friday night. Not too bad, 49 degrees at 4:30 this afternoon. So 2 umpire crew on the system tonight. First pitch of the ball game, Vince Talenko, swing and a miss. 5:59 p.m. No balls, 1 strike. Right-handed batter, Cooper Dold. Working from the windup, Vince Talenko. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Going to be a bunt. Bunt down the third base line, not too far from the plate. It's going to be a foul ball. That ball landed still in the dirt, on the dirt surround right there at home plate. Dirt surround, probably about 20 feet in diameter. So he'll jog back to home plate, pick up the bat. Actually handed the bat to him. It's Cooper Renback, the catcher. So no balls, 2 strikes. Peering in, looking at signals. Vince Talenko, here comes the pitch. He's going to foul one right side out of play. He'll stay in the box. Vince Talenko pitching for the Knights. In the batter's box, 0-2 count. Once again, it's Cooper Dold. He'll step in, tap the plate. Looking at signals, over the glove, working from the windup, 1 foot on, 1 foot off. Here comes the wind and the 0-2 pitch. You're going to pop one up on the infield. It's going to be called for by the second baseman, and that's Hudson Gutwine. He'll make the catch out in the grass. That ball could have been caught by right fielder Alex Schumer, but Gutwine calls it. There's 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Next batter in the lineup for Twin Lakes is going to be Mason Brummett. Mason Brummett wears number 27. Mason Brummett is going to do the pitching. He's a left-handed batter. Here comes the first pitch to Brummett. Foul ball. Just underneath the baseball, straight back to the screen. No balls, 1 strike, early going. Top of the first inning at Central Catholic High School. Peering in, looking at signals out of the windup. Vince Talenko. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Tries to check his swing. They're going to ask at first base umpire. Difficult way to go right there. They check and they said he did not go. So a position umpire behind first base making that call with a left-handed batter. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here comes the pitch to Brummett. Backdoor curveball. Couldn't get the grip. Going to get by the catcher. Renback didn't have a chance. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. He'll step back in. Mason Brummett. Talking to Ryan Gerke before the game, Mason's brother is C.J. Brummett. Had a good career in baseball for the Twin Lakes Indians. Pitch comes in, tight, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. He'll step back in. Straightaway stance. Mason Brummett back on the rubber. 1 foot on, 1 foot off. Here comes the wind into 3-1. Going to call that a strike. Outside edge. Going to bring the count to full. 3-2 count to Brummett. Peering in, looking at signals. Vince Talenko. Here comes the payoff pitch. Going to take one the other way. Foul ball. Right by third base coach. That's Jake Burton. Jake Burton, he's a veteran. Jake Burton, pretty nice gentleman. Enjoy speaking with him one day on a telephone. Ball goes to the left field corner out there by the bullpen. So we'll stay in the box, another 3-2 count. Second time for Brummett. Here comes the pitch from Talenko. You're going to foul another one straight back just underneath the baseball. Brummett has a quick swing right through the zone. He gets those hands perfectly placed. And he's a 2-hitter for Twin Lakes. Sophomore athlete working from the windup. 3-2 pitch, third time. Here's the pitch. Going to pop one up on the infield. Gutwine's going to call this one. He'll step a couple of steps in on the dirt and make the catch. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Next batter in the lineup going to be the 3-hitter, number 6, Carson Wagner. Carson Wagner, the shortstop for the Indians. He'll step in, right-handed batter, straightaway stance. As mentioned, he's the captain, and he does a fine job. Here comes a wind, first pitch to Wagner. Tried that breaking pitch, couldn't get the grip. Wagner going to get hit in the box. Like nothing happened, he'll jog down the first base. So he'll take that apparatus off that lower leg or ankle area, hand that to the first base coach. Next batter in the lineup, the 4-hitter, number 28, Aiden Holly. Aiden Holly, the catcher for Twin Lakes. Open stance, he'll close on the approach. Has a good view of the baseball with that wide open stance. Pickoff move, first base in the dirt, going to get by Gerke, but not too far. He'll pick up the baseball. So back safely at first base is Carson Wagner. So 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. 1 runner aboard. Carson Wagner is at first base for the Indians. Infield playing straightaway, regular depth. The outfield may be shallow in right field with Alex Schumer. And another pickoff move, nonchalant. Back safely is Wagner. So stepping back in the rubber. Working from the stretch, peering in, looking at signals. Vince Talenko checks first base out of the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Going to be a ground ball. Shortstop. Mikey Stapleton on a hop. He'll throw across the diamond, get the put out with Lucas Gerke. And the Indians will set down. They put 1 aboard with a hit by pitch, and they're out of the inning. The Knights are going to come to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. Again, we thank you for tuning in. We'll mention a little bit about each school. We'll mention first the visiting team on the scoreboard. That's Twin Lakes Indians. Twin Lakes Indians, they have a school enrollment of 663. They're Class 3A, Sectional 23, 7 in their sectional. In their sectional is Logansport, Maconaquah, Northwestern, Peru, Twin Lakes, West Lafayette, Western. Twin Lakes High School is located at 300 South 3rd Street, Monticello, Indiana, 47960. You can dial them by telephone at 574-583-7108. On the web, you can find them at tlschools.org. They wear the collars red and white, and they are in the Hoosier Conference. Their principal at Twin Lakes High School is Melissa Whitehead. The athletic director is Dan Seltz. He's also the athletic director at Roosevelt Middle School. The head coach for the Twin Lakes Indians is Mr. Jake Burton. So they're getting warmed up on the diamond. We'll talk about the Knights here in just a bit. So getting some warm-up tosses. The pitcher today for the Twin Lakes Indians is Mason Brummett. He wears number 27. His battery partner, the catcher for the Indians, is Aiden Holly, wears number 28. At first base, number 3, Tate Goyer. At second base, number 33, Peyton Houchin. At shortstop, number 6, Carson Wagner. At third base, number 14, Austin Robertson. In left field, number 9, Josh Crowell. In center field, number 2, Cooper Dold. And in right field, number 10, Judd Gorton. First batter going to step in for the Knights. Going to be number 9, Hudson Gutwine. Right-handed batter. Working at the pitcher's rubber is Brummett. He's a lefty. First pitch comes in, swing and a miss. Healthy cut, Gutwine took his cut. First pitch of the ball game for the Knights. Offensively, here comes the 0-1 pitch from Brummett. Just low. We got the outer half, but just low. Brummett, he can bring it. So peering in, looking at signals, working from the windup. Time called, batter's box. Hudson Gutwine. Granted time, adjust those batting gloves, and he'll step back in. Hudson Gutwine did miss a ball game. It wasn't last night's previous game. He was a little bit under the weather. Pitch comes in just above the zone. Ball 1. I was going to take that back. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes a wind in the pitch. Ground ball back up the middle. Going to be fielded by the shortstop behind second base. And try to make a good play there. I tell you what, the throw pulled the first baseman, Tate Goyer, off the bag. But Carson Wagner to even get to that baseball over second base. What a play. And Coach Jake Burton going to walk out, have a conversation with the first base umpire. He's probably going to ask him, was his foot on the base when the ball was caught? And then maybe came off the base after the catch. But he's asking. The officials are getting together. They're going to make the right call, and they'll say he's safe. So we'll go on. We'll mention it at first base. First hit of the ball game. Hudson Gutwine is at first. Stepping into bat for the Knights, number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer, the right fielder. Working out the stretch, now the set. Pitch comes in tight, about chest high, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 foot in the box, 1 foot out. Signals given first base, I should say third base coach. That's Tim Bourdonnais. Here comes the pitch from Brummett. Outside a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Chilly weather here in Indiana. Supposed to get a little better. So out of the set position, Brummett. Squaring the bunt is Schumer. Pitch comes in tight, real tight. Schumer had to get out of the way in that left-handed batter's box. Coming in to play the bunt from third base was Austin Robertson. He's pretty close. I'd hate to see a swing away after a bunt attempt. Pitch comes in, strike called. Outside half. 3 balls, 1 strike. He'll step back in, left-handed batter's box. He'll square early. Here comes Robertson from third base. He'll pull the bat back, and he'll take ball 4. Tight, right in that left-handed batter's box. Jogging down to second base. Right there is Hudson Gutwine. Third batter in the lineup for the Knights. Going to be number 10, Lucas Gerke. But right now, Aiden Holly, the catcher, calls time, jogs out, conveys a short message to Mason Brummett. So runners at first and second base. At first base is Alex Schumer. At second base, Hudson Gutwine. Third batter in the lineup, Lucas Gerke. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Now the set. Mason Brummett checks second base. Here's the pitch. Gerke squares the bunt, pulls the bat back. It's a called strike. Fastball, knee high, right down meridian. Count goes 0-1. He'll step back in, working from the stretch. Now the set. Check second. Check second again. Here's the pitch from Brummett. Going to put a bunt down. going to go left side and try to get the fourth out at third base. Brummett throws over to third base, and the ball gets by number 14, Austin Robertson. And Knights score the first run of the ball game. So not a bad bunt, but Brummett elects to go to third base. A good throw and a catch probably would have gotten Hudson Gutwein. So runners at second and third as Gerke takes second base on the overthrow. At third base doing the base running for the Knights, Alex Schumer. Stepping into bat for Central Catholic, number 11, shortstop Mikey Stapleton. Stepping in the rubber, Mason Brummett getting his signals. Out of the set position. Checks second base. First pitch to Stapleton. Tight, inside, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. On deck, the 5-hitter, DJ Gilkey. Gilkey having a good spring so far. Timeout called, Mikey Stapleton. Granted, he'll step back in. Ball's made live. Runners at second and third base, nobody out. Top of the first. Here comes the pitch. Going to foul ball out of play right side, and it's going to get the track. Few people right there. Everybody's safe. 1-1 count. Stepping back in, Mikey Stapleton. Check over at third base, out of the set stretch. Here's the pitch from Brummett, inside, tight again, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Stapleton, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Knights staying around home plate for signals. After last night's game, home plate umpire, a little demonstration, keep them close to the plate. 2-1 count. Working out a stretch, now the set. Check second, here comes the pitch. Going to be hit by pitch. Another tight pitch. Ricocheted off the body of Stapleton about chest high. And then I think it got the catcher, Holly. Everybody's safe. Stepping into bat for the Knights. Bases loaded. Going to be number 33, DJ Gilkey. Gilkey bats in the 5th spot. On deck is Jackson Kane. Peering in, looking at signals. Mason Brummett. Out of the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Above the zone, ball 1. Gilkey in the batter's box, picking up signals. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He'll step back in. Working from the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Ball low, just below the zone. 2 balls, no strikes. DJ Gilkey, the batter for the Knights. A little bit of an open stance. Out of the set, here comes a pitch. Gilkey squares the bunt, pulls the bat back, and it's a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Top of the first inning. Knights have bases loaded. Nobody out. Here comes the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss for Gilkey. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brummett working quick on the pitcher's rubber. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, second base. Going to be fielded right there by Peyton Houchin. He elects to flip it to second base, and the ball goes awry. And everybody's safe. Run comes in to score. Alex Schumer scores the second run in the ball game. So Knights have 3 aboard. Stepping into bat, going to be number 3, Jackson Kane. As mentioned, he's batting in place of defensive catcher, number 7, Cooper Renback. So Kane steps in. He's got that hoodie at the back side of his jersey. A little bit of a brisk night. Here comes the pitch from Brummett. Right down meridian, knee high. Strike called. No balls, 1 strike. Jackson Kane, the 6-hitter for the Knights. Right-handed batter, out of the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Kane goes down the count 0-2. Brummett peering in, looking at signals. Brummett don't waste any time. Out of the set position. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Outside of ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kane steps back in, taps the plate. One ball, two strikes. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball two. Two balls, no strikes. Jackson Kane, right-handed batter. He's keeping 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Picking up signals, very few given. 2-2 count. Here comes the call time. Time is called. Jackson Kane in the box. Granted time just before Brummett releases the baseball. Ball ended up in the catcher's glove. There'll be no pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. He's going to square the bunt. Pulls the bat back. It's a ball just above the zone. 3-2 count. Bases loaded. All the runners going to be on the move on this pitch. Out the set. Here comes the pitch. Going to be a foul ball back to the screen, and he'll be out. Foul ball, bunt attempt by Jackson Kane. Foul ball constitutes a strikeout in the book with 2 strikes. Stepping into bat, going to be number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Brennan Van Kirk, the 7-hitter for the Knights. Going to play left field today for Central Catholic. He'll step in. Right-handed batter's box, straightaway stance. Out of the set position, Brummett. Here comes the pitch. High above the zone, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Brummett, he's in the rubber, ready to go. Stepping back in is Van Kirk. Out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Elects not to swing. Outside half. Strike called. About thigh high. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Piernan looking at signals. Now out of the set. Check second base. Here comes the pitch from Brummett. High for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Knights have bases loaded. We're in the top of the first inning. Knights have 2 runs in here in the inning. There's 1 out. 2-1 count to Van Kirk. He's going to try to put a bunt down. It's going to go foul. Back to the screen. About halfway off the screen, halfway up. Count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Top of the first inning. Piernan looking at signals. Out of the stretch. Brummett checks third base. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch. Tight. Inside. Ball 3. The fans wanting a strike out of that pitch. I have a good vantage point. It's a great vantage point. I'm behind home plate. And I'm elevated. I tell you what, that was inside. 3-2 count. Runners on the move. Here comes the pitch from Brummett. Full swing, going to go to center field. That's going to be caught by the center fielder. They're going to tag at third base. Here comes the throw. Holly going to try to get the tag in on him, and he's safe at home plate. Going to be a sacrifice fly off the bat of Brennan Van Kirk and an RBI. Coming in to score from third base on the tag up is Lucas Gerke. So runners at first and third base. Stepping into bat, Calvin Reisman. He wears number 13. He'll play center field. He was able to play last night, got his first stint of the season playing last night at Lebanon. He'll step in, right-handed batter. Runners at first and third. Out of set position, Mason Brummett. Here comes the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. Fastball right down meridian. On deck for Central Catholic, number 25, Vince Talenko. Talenko's the pitcher for the Knights. Out of set position, Mason Brummett. Here comes the pitch. Outside half, strike called. Taking second base on the pitch, no throw. Lucas Gerke is at second base. At third base is Mikey Stapleton. 2 outs, 0-2 count. To Talenko, here's the pitch. Outside a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This home plate umpire tonight, not quite as liberal as last night's home plate umpire. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball. Going to be fielded by the shortstop. Backhands it. Goes across the diamond. A nice play from Carson Wagner. So he gets to put out with Tate Goyer, the first baseman. The Knights are out of the inning. Knights come up with 3 runs here in the bottom of the third. At the end of one, Knights 3, Twin Lakes 0. Twin Lakes going to come to the plate. They'll bat in the top of the second inning. Now we'll mention a little bit about Lafayette Central Catholic. Lafayette Central Catholic High School, they have a school enrollment of 302. They're Class 2A this year. They had to move up with the success factor. They're in sectional 37. There are 7 in their sectional. In their sectional is Benton Central, Delphi, Lafayette Central Catholic, North Montgomery, Rensselaer Central, Seeger, Western Boone. Lafayette Central Catholic High School is located at 2410 South 9th Street, Lafayette, Indiana, 47909. You can reach them by phone at 765-474-2496. On the web, it's lccathletics.com. They're with the Cobblers, Navy and Whites. They are also in the Hoosier Conference. Principal at Lafayette Central Catholic is Darrell Beck. The athletic director is Tim Bourdonnais. And the head coach for the baseball team is also Tim Bourdonnais. He's a 1987 Central Catholic graduate. So they throw one down to second base. Cooper Renback. And they'll throw it around the horn. They'll bring the ball back and put it in the glove of Vince Talenko. Next batter in the lineup for Twin Lakes. Going to be the 5-hitter, number 3, Tate Goyer. Tate Goyer is the first baseman. So top of the second inning. Beautiful day for baseball, minus the temperature. Temperature not too bad. And here comes the wind and the pitch to Goyer. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. Might have got Renback. Home plate umpire right there in case Renback needed a little time. That's courtesy of the umpire. And vice versa for the catcher if the umpire was happened to get hit. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Talenko. Breaking pitch. Finishes strike. Got the plate, broke outside. Nicely placed breaking ball from Talenko. Open stance right there. 5-hitter. Tate Goyer. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. Tries it again. That one ends up outside. Didn't get the plate. Ball 1. Count goes 1-2. Stepping back in. Right-handed batter. Tate Goyer. Where's number 3? Out of the windup. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Ground ball back up the middle through the wickets of Talenko. Fielded just right side of second base. Mikey Stapleton throws a strike to Lucas Gerke. There's one out. One out here in the top of the second inning. Next batter to step in, Twin Lakes Indian. Number 14, Austin Robertson. Robertson is the third baseman. He'll step in, right-handed batter's box. Peering in, looking at signals. Vince Talenko. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Outside half, knee high, called strike. Count goes 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. I see Charlie Roberts outside the fence area right there. He's the assistant athletic director here at Central Catholic. Working from the windup. Here comes a pitch from Talenko. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Started this one inside. He got the middle of the plate. Count goes 0-2. Take that back. Counts 1-2. Scoreboard not quite right. It's a brand new scoreboard. It was bought by a local guy. I think I was told about that, but I can't quite place it right now in my noggin. Pitch comes in, ball low. 2-2 count. 2-2 count on the batter. And I'm working right there, working from the windup. Talenko. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Breaking pitch finishes away. Ball 3. Talenko, pretty good placement with that curveball. And that one just outside. So 3-2 count. 3-2, 1 out. Out of the windup. Here comes the pitch. That's upstairs. I take that back. That's the third ball. And we'll go from there. Might have been incorrect. So count is now 3-2. 3-2 to Tate Goyer. Here comes a wind and the pitch. Take that out. It's Austin Robertson in the batter's box, and he'll take third strike, but he'll jog back to the dugout. That was Robertson. There are 2 out here in the top of the second inning. Next batter going to step in for the Indians. Going to be number 33, Peyton Houchin. Peyton Houchin already busy in this ballgame at second base. Here comes a pitch from Telenko. Tries a checky swing. Going to be a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Right-handed batter. Right-handed batter, that's Peyton Houchin. So what, Peyton is a common name since Peyton Manning has entered the scene. Here comes a pitch from Telenko. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Top of the second inning. Working from the windup. Telenko looking over the glove. Here comes the wind and the 2 pitch. Ground ball, third base. Going to be fielded right there. DJ Gilkey. You throw across the diamond, and the put out made with Lucas Gerke. And the Knights get out of the inning. We'll mention the Twin Lakes Indians come up with no hits. Nobody left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning at the end of 1.5. Knights 3, Indians 0. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. They're family owned and operated since 1955. You can increase your yield with Reynolds Farm Equipment. Tractors, combines, corn pickers, lawnmowers, etc. Genuine John Deere equipment. New and used equipment available. Extraordinarily the best in the business. Reynolds, visit them at their Atlanta, Indiana location. It's right there on US 31 at 1451 East 276th Street, Atlanta, Indiana, 46031. Reynolds Farm Equipment, they have 5 locations. You can reach them by phone at 800-333-6947. That's 800-333-6947. Stepping into bat, going to be number 25, Vince Telenko. He's batting in the 9th spot tonight. He's doing the pitching for Central Catholic. First pitch from Brummett. Outside edge, strike called. So he'll step back in. Telenko and Brummett. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Breaking pitch. Back door. No balls, 2 strikes. Stepping back in, Vince Telenko. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Healthy cut. Swing and a miss. He'll go down on strikes. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Next batter going to step in. It's number 9, Hudson Gutwein. Hudson Gutwein on the season. He's played in 2 ball games. He's batting .400. He's been to the plate 8 times, 5 official at-bats. His on-base percentage is .625. He's got 2 hits. Here comes the pitch. Backdoor curveball. Finishes above the zone. Stepping back in. Straightaway stance. Gutwein. Here comes a wind and a pitch from Brummett. You think a line shot right side out of play. So that'll roll down the sidewalk. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Adjusting that elbow apparatus right there on the left elbow. I tell you what, Barry Bonds used to wear that. Here comes a pitch. Outside of ball. They said Barry Bonds, when he wore that, it was retractable. They said that's where he got part of his power. As you know, he's the home run leader. And he was fun to watch. That short fence in 309 in right field at Jetta Stadium. Foul tip in the glove, caught by Hawley. It's a strike, and the count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Brummett. Ground ball, shortstop. Going to be fielded right there. He'll throw across the diamond. Carson Wagner to Tate Goyer. And there are 2 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Next batter going to step in for the Knights, the 2-hitter, Alex Schumer. He's playing right field today. He played right field last night. Alex Schumer, he's played in 3 ball games. He's also batting .400. He's got 4 RBI on the young season. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. Might have been a slider variety in there for a strike. Taken for a strike by Schumer. 0-1 count. Working from the windup, nobody on. Brummett. Pitch comes in. Curveball. Started inside. Stayed inside. Count goes 1-1. So Schumer, that's Alex Schumer. He got 4 hits on the season. Here comes the pitch. Inside, tight for a ball. Count goes 2-1. Alex Schumer on the season, he scored 3 runs. He's walked 1 time. He has 2 stolen bases. Alex Schumer, left-handed batter. Here comes the wind and the left-handed pitch from Mason Brummett. Right down meridian, taken for a strike. Count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 2nd inning. Time called in the box there. Schumer, he's granted time. He'll step back in. Working from the windup, Mason Brummett. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, foul ball. Dribbler left side. And picked up in foul territory by the catcher, Aiden Holly. So he'll stay in the box, 2-2 count. Alex Schumer, he's pretty calm, cool, and collected. Alex Schumer. Here comes a wind and a 2-2 again. Swing and a miss. And that ball was cleaned by the catcher, Aiden Holly. And the Knights are out of the inning. And we mentioned Twin Lakes Indians going to come to the plate. Going to bat in the top of the 3rd inning. At the end, it's 2. Central Catholic 3. Twin Lakes 0. And we'll also mention tonight's ball game is in part being brought to you by Noblesville Trophies. Noblesville Trophies, you can shop them online at noblesvilletrophies.com or stop in, if only to browse around. They're located at 1740 South 10th Street, Noblesville, Indiana. They've got trophies, awards, plaques, and much, much more. Fast turnaround, prices are low. They're so low you may want to be a repeat customer. Noblesville Trophies, 1740 South 10th Street, Noblesville, Indiana, 46060. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can reach them by telephone at 317-773-7391. Again, that's 317-773-7391. Online, it's noblesvilletrophies.com. So the Knights going to throw it around the infield. They'll put it back in the glove right there. Vince Telenko. Next batter in the lineup, going to be the 8-hitter for Twin Lakes, number 48, Aiden Garcia. He has mentioned DH, and he's batting in place of right fielder number 10, Jed Gorton. Jed Gorton defensively in right field for Twin Lakes. Right-handed batter's box, peering over the glove right there from the windup. First pitch from Telenko. Going to check his swing. It's going to be called a strike on the outside edge. Count goes 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Working out of the windup, here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, got by the glove of Renback. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 3rd inning, a Friday night. Center fielder Calvin Reisman playing him to pull the baseball. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike to Garcia. That's Aiden Garcia. They've got 2 Aidens, and they spell their name differently. One's A-N at the end of it, and one's E-N. Aiden Garcia here is the E-N. Here comes the pitch. Going to take a ground ball. Going to get through the hole at first and second base, trying to throw him out from right field with Schumer, and it was close. But a base hit off the bat here in the top of the 3rd for Aiden Garcia. So stepping in for Twin Lakes is going to be number 9, Josh Crowell. Josh Crowell playing left field for the Indians. He'll step in, another right-handed batter. Going to work from the stretch this time. Vince Telenko peering in, looking at signals. Checks first base out of the stretch. Now the set. First pitch, breaking pitch. in there for a strike. Josh Crowell kind of locked up right there. Breaking pitch for Talenko is working well tonight. So 1 foot in, 1 foot out, looking at signals. Coach Jake Burton at third base. Out of the stretch. Peering in, looking at signals. Vince Talenko out of the set position. Here comes a pitch. Going to put a bunt down. First baseline. It's a good bunt. Going to be fielded by Talenko. He'll get the out at first base. But a mission accomplished as they move Aiden Garcia to second base. So they give up an out. They get a base on the outs, and they're in scoring position. Second base, Aiden Garcia doing the base running. Stepping in. Second time in the lineup, Cooper Dold. Cooper Dold wears number 2. He's center fielder. He's batting an even .400. That's out of 4 games, 14 plate appearances. 10 official at-bats. He scored 5 runs. He's got 4 hits on the season. They're all singles. He's got an on-base percentage really high. It's .571. Probably why he's batting first. So right-handed batter's box. He'll step in. Tap the play. Working from the stretch. Vince Talenko. Peering in, looking at signals. Peering in, looking in. Out of stretch, now the set, check second base. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Vince Talenko. Vince Talenko will mention. 6'1", 185. He's a junior. Listed as a pitcher and an outfielder. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Might have got away with a little movement there. Out of the set. Going to be a base hit to right field. Picked up on a hop by Schumer. He'll throw a dart back into Gerke. The cutoff man in the infield. And Twin Lakes have 2 aboard here in the top of the 3rd inning. 1 out at first base. Base hit. That's Cooper Dold. And right there at third base, Aiden Garcia. Stepping in the bat. Second time in the lineup. 27, Mason Brummett. He does the pitching. Mason Brummett doing well right there. And then step back in. Left-handed batter's box. Out of the set. Talenko. Here comes the pitch. Taken off for second base. They're going to fake a throw to second with Renback. So the Twin Lakes Indians, I should say, have runners at second and third base with 1 out. 1 ball, no strikes. In the batter's box, right there is Mason Brummett. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch from Talenko. You're going to foul 1, left side, out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. You'll step back in. Mason Brummett. Pretty fluent swing in the left-handed batter's box. Kind of like a Ken Griffey Jr. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Vince Talenko. Runners at second and third. Top of the 3rd inning. A 3-0 contest. Knights in front. You're going to foul 1, playable. In the field of play, Renback going to go back near the screen, and he'll make the catch. So Renback makes the catch. There are 2 out. Top of the 3rd inning. Next batter going to step in. 3-hitter, number 6, Carson Wagner. Wagner is the shortstop. He's batting .273 on the season. That's in 4 games. 13 plate appearances, 11 official at-bats. Put Me in Sports does not mention batting averages under 200. If we go to look at a 200 batting average, we usually mention the on-base percentage. So the Knights having a timeout. They're at the pitcher's rubber talking this over. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Discount Copies. Discount Copies conveniently located at the west edge of Noblesville, just behind Pizza Hut and next to Bowl 32. That's along State Road 32. At Discount Copies, they provide setup services where you can turn your artwork into things such as note cards, notepads, prints, and calendars. And it's never too early to think about personalized Christmas cards. If you're planning a wedding, they can help you. They can print all of your needs. And you can reach them at 317-773-8783 or discount copies 96 at gmail.com. Back in the batter's box, pitch comes in high and away for a ball. Count goes 2-0. So Wagner going to step back in. Right-handed batter's box. Peering in, Talenko. Runners at second and third base. And Coach Bourdonnais elects to give him an intentional walk. And that's something you can do. You can just appoint the guy first base. So now they got to force out at any base in home plate. 2 outs. And they're going to bat right now with number 28, Aiden Holly. Aiden Holly with an A in the end of his first name. Aiden Holly, the catcher. Peering in, looking at signals. Vince Talenko out of the set, checks third base. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Count goes 0-1. Twin Lakes Indians batting in the bottom of the third. Going to be a timeout. Jogging out to talk to Vince Talenko is Cooper Renback. And while he does that, Aiden Holly going to shoe tie on that left shoe. So no balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. Top of the third inning. 3-0 contest. Knights got 3 in the bottom of the first. Working out a stretch. Peering in, long pier. Getting a single from Renback. Out of set position. Here comes the pitch from Talenko. Going to be low. Going to get by the wickets. Going to go back to the screen. And Twin Lakes Indians going to score their first run of the ball game. Coming in to score on the misplayed baseball there at the catcher's position is number 48. Take that back, 28, Aiden Holly. Aiden Garcia. I tell you what, Aiden Holly is at the plate. Coming in to score was Aiden Garcia. So it's a 3-1 contest. 2 outs. Top of the third inning. Runners at second and third for the Indians. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. Garcia takes the pitch up above the zone for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. You'll step back in. Open stance. You'll close on the approach. Good vision of the baseball. Out of a set position, Vince Talenko. Here comes the pitch. Outside, just missed. Count goes 3-1. Pretty good eyesight right there for Aiden Holly. He'll step back in. Holly is the catcher for the Indians. Runners at second and third base. Peering in, looking at signals. Vince Talenko out of the set position. Here comes the 3-1. Breaking pitch, perfectly placed. Strike called. Count goes 3-2. 3-2 count, full count on Holly. Runners at second and third base. 1 run in here in the top of the third for the Indians. Out of the set, here comes the 3-1. I should say 3-2, and he hits a scorcher just left of third base with that 3-2 count. So we'll stay in the box 3-2. And I think that might have got the base runner. Home plate umpire checks on him. That was a foul ball. If you get hit with a live ball foul, you're not out. But fair ball, you get hit with a ball. If you're not on base, it's an out. Out of set position, Talenko, 3-2 pitch, second time. It'll be a ground ball, base hit through the hole at first and second base. Throw from Schumer at the plate, and they're going to call him out. Slide in. It was close. They get 1 run on the RBI. And I'm going to be cut down. Second attempt to score. They're top of the third, but they get 2 in the inning. So it's a 3-2 contest. Knights are going to bat in the bottom of the third inning. We'll also mention tonight's ball game is in part being brought to you by Lisa Stokes Bear. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21. Real estate IQ. She's got a good one that will work for the benefit of you. Lisa specializes in residential and corporate relocations. She has a vast knowledge with more than 25 years of question answering experience. Let Lisa look or let Lisa list. Your home, each home is precious. That's Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21, Sheets Company. She's highly recommended. She's a real estate agent or real estate broker. To contact Lisa Stokes Bear by phone or by text message, you can call her at 317-513-4086. Again, that's 317-513-4086. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21. So getting some warm-up tosses right there. Getting his gear on, coming back out, is Aiden Holly after he was in the works there. Got the RBI. Knocked in the second run for Twin Lakes. 3-2 contest. Bottom of the third inning. Stepping into bat, number 10, Lucas Gerke. Lucas Gerke, he's batting an even 200. Even 200, 3 ball games. He's got 3 RBI. First pitch from Brummett. Strike called outside half. So Brummett, the lefty, facing the left-handed batter, Lucas Gerke. Working from the windup, here comes the pitch. Inside a ball. Just missed inside. Count goes 1-1. Lucas Gerke, he's got an on-base percentage of .273. He's got 2 hits in 10 at-bats. Swing and a miss. Count goes 1-2 to Lucas Gerke. Lucas Gerke has pitched the most innings for the Knights in this early season. Last night, his brother, Jonah Gerke, pitched against Lebanon. Here comes the pitch from Brummett. Swing and a miss. He'll go down on strikes. And there's 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Next batter to step in for the Knights, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Mikey Stapleton, he's batting at .273. He's been to the plate 11 times, 11 at-bats. He's got 3 hits. He's got an RBI. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, back door in there for a strike. Well-placed ball by Brummett. Peering in, looking at signals. Timeout called. Stapleton. Time granted, he'll step back in. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Foul tip. Couldn't quite catch it there. Holly, but it's still a strike. Might have got him just slightly. Got him on the leg there. Left leg. So the home plate umpire going to go out. And I'm just use some time right there to give Aiden Holly a chance to regroup. He's okay. So 2 strikes on Stapleton, 0-2 count. On deck is DJ Gilkey for the Knights. Here comes a wind and the pitch. Foul 1 right side, out of play. It's going to land on the batting cages. He's going to be stuck up there. 0-2 count once again. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Ground ball. Left side, going to go scoop right there by shortstop Wagner. You throw across the diamond, get the put out with Tate Goyer. There are 2 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Next batter to step in for the Knights, number 33, DJ Gilkey. Gilkey is the third baseman. Left-handed batter steps in. Gilkey leads the team in batting average so far this season. Foul 1 straight back for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Gilkey batting an even .500. He's been to the plate 8 times, 6 official at-bats. Next pitch comes in a ball high, and he'll step back in. Left-handed batter, left-handed pitcher. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball in the infield. First base going to be fielded by Goyer. He'll step on the bag, and the Knights go down in order. So the Knights leave nobody on, and the Knights give up their 3 outs. And then after 3 complete, it's 3-2. Knights in front, 3-2. Indians going to come to the plate. We'll also mention tonight's sponsorship. We appreciate you listening. And we'll mention, before we dive back into action, we want to spotlight a business that's been printing success in our community for 50 incredible years. That's McCormick Printing Impressions. From business cards to banners, T-shirts to office supplies, MPI is your local full-service print shop, delivering quality, great service, and creativity in every project. Family owned and operated for 2 generations, MPI knows that your first impression matters. So they make sure it's a good one. Next time you need something printed with perfection, turn to MPI, because McCormick Printing Impressions, they don't just print, they help you make your best impression. That's McCormick Printing. They're in Tifton. If you want to call them, they didn't list it, but their phone number is 765-675-9556. I know that because I've worked firsthand with them, and they are really professionally good. So stepping into bat here in the top of the 4th inning is number 3, 5-hitter Tate Goyer. Just made that final put out. They're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So steps in, right-handed batter. Still on the pitcher's rubber, that's Vince Talenko for the Knights. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Outside half, knee high, called strike. Count goes 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. The batter's box, Tate Goyer for the Indians. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Breaking pitch, just misses low. Got the dish, but just a bit low. Count goes 1-1. That open stance right there gives him good vision of Talenko. Here comes the wind and the 1-1. You're going to take a shot to left field. The wind's going to kind of kill the ball a little bit, slow it up, and it's going to be caught by Brennan Van Kirk. I thought that ball was going to get further than it was. He didn't quite get the sweet spot, a little closer to the handle, but a pretty good stroke right there. Out number 1, Tate Goyer. Stepping into bat, 6-hitter, number 14, Austin Robertson. Plays 3rd base. Here comes the wind, first pitch to Robertson. Foul ball, right side. A position umpire had to jump the baseball. He's got some agility. Got some bullpen activity down the right field line. Nice throwing in the bullpen. Adriano's down there tossing. He's in the catcher spot. He got to pitch last night, late in the game. Here comes the pitch. Be a shot, base hit. Going to get the gap in right center. They're going to chase it. It's going to be picked up by center fielder Reisman. Going to try to make a double out of this, and he couldn't get it. Head first slide at second base. Throw came in, and it was a good play there by Mikey Stapleton to put the tag on him. And he got credit for the single, trying to stretch it into a double. So that was Austin Robertson. Next batter going to step in, number 33, Peyton Houchin. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Inside, a little bit tall, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning. Vince Talenko pitching from the windup, 1 foot on, 1 foot off, a right-handed pitcher. Here comes the wind and the pitch to Houchin. High above the zone. Ball 2. Houchin, right there. He's a second baseman for Twin Lakes. Working from the windup. Here comes a pitch from Talenko. Swung on, ground ball. Going to be backhanded by the shortstop, Mikey Stapleton. Strong arm across the diamond. They're going to say the foot came off the bag there. And he's safe at first base, Houchin. And so the throw must have brought him off just a little bit. Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out, have a conversation with the umpires. Brief conversation. They're going to see if the home plate umpire could see space between the base and the base and the foot. And they're talking it over right now. Going to decide. But usually rely on the home plate umpire to look and see if he saw space. And evidently the call was made correctly. So he'll stay at first base. Houchin is aboard. So stepping into bat for Twin Lakes, Aiden Garcia. He's the 8 hitter. Where's number 48? Straightaway stance, right-handed batter. Facing the righty, Talenko. Here comes the pitch. Inside and low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. Indians have a runner at first base. Might have reached on air, but he's there. That's 33, Peyton Houchin. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Vince Talenko checks first base. Now the set position. Pickoff move, no tag applied by Gerke. Back safely is Houchin. Steps back in the rubber. Vince Talenko gets a signal. Out of set position. Here comes a 1-0. Swung on and take one right side. Bullpen area. And it's going to be caught by the bullpen pitcher right there for the Knights. That's number 14, Jonah Gerke, getting warmed up. Jonah Gerke, he's 6'4", 185. Just a sophomore. His dad's a tall guy. He's the public address. That's Ryan Gerke. You can hear him probably in the background. Out of the set position, Talenko, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on the breaking pitch. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning. It's a 3-2 ball game. Knights got 3 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Bottom of the 1st inning. Twin Lakes got 2 in the top of the 3rd. Pickoff move. He'll apply a tag late there. Safe at first base is Houchin. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Working out the stretch. Peering in, getting signals. Out of the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 1-2. Going to set up outside on him. You're going to take one back up the middle. That was a curveball. And it was caught out of the air. Nice play by Mikey Stapleton. Thought that one was going to get to center field on the ground, but no. Caught out of the air. Mikey Stapleton records a 3rd out in the inning for the Knights. So at the end of 3.5, Knights in front, 3-2, Twin Lakes Indians. We'll also mention tonight's ball game is in part being brought to you by Honey Creek Resort. Honey Creek Resort, what a beautiful place to be. Plan your vacation or maybe a weekend getaway. Honey Creek Resort with 840 acres of fantastic nature, fun and recreational activities. The adventures are nice, and it's just a 1-day drive. It's actually about 7 hours from here. Say, well, we went there last weekend. It's a beautiful place. Honey Creek Resort in southern Iowa, where fellow Hoosiers Beth and Terry Henderson have an amazing lodge and cabins with fabulous fishing, boating, golfing, horse carriages, and much more. Truly amazing. That's honeycreekresort.com. Make your group, business, or family getaway reservations today. You can reach them by phone at 641-724-1450. So that's honeycreekresort.com. Stepping in, Jackson Kane. Right-handed batter, first pitch from Brummett, outside a ball. Mason Brummett, pure athlete. You can just look at him. He's got what he needs. Here comes the pitch from Brummett. Outside edge, strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stepping back in, Jackson Kane. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Inside and tight. Might have been a bit low. Count goes 2-1. Ball's going to hit off of Aiden Holly. He'll pick it up to his left with a good block. 2 balls, 1 strike to Kane. Here comes the pitch from Brummett. Swung on, swing and a miss. Jackson Kane working hard. He had surgery right after football. He's still on the mend, but he can bat in the batter's box. He's a DH. Pitch comes in. They're going to call strike. They're going to set him down looking. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Next batter going to step in for Central Catholic, number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Van Kirk is the 7-hitter. Van Kirk on the season, as mentioned, a .500 batting average in 3 ball games. He's got 3 RBI. Pitch comes in. First pitch taken for a strike. Van Kirk has 5 hits on the season. That leads the team. Working from the windup, here comes the 0-1. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Back door. Brummett gets ahead in the count, 0-2. Peering in, looking at signals. Here comes the wind and the 0-2. Going to foul one back to the screen. Reisman is on deck for the Knights. Van Kirk in the batter's box right now for Central Catholic. 0-2 count. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Ground ball, third base side. Going to be picked up by Robertson. He'll throw across the diamond. Difficult play to make, and it's an infield hit. Van Kirk picks up hit number 6 on the season. Closest guy to him is Schumer with 4. So stepping into bat for the Knights, it's going to be Calvin Reisman. They were calling him Cal Reisman. Public address last night at Lebanon. I'm not sure. Haven't been notified if he'd rather be called Cal. I'd rather say what they want. Out of set position, checks first base. Pickoff move. They're going to get him in a pickle. Going to get him in a rundown. He's in difficult land right there, and they're going to put the tag on him. Goyer will put the tag on him. Left-handed pitcher is a difficult way to go when you're at first base as the base runner. And that was purely evident right there. Mason Brummett. Tell you what, well done by Brummett. There are 2 out. Now the base pads are empty. Stepping back in, that's 13. Reisman, Calvin Reisman. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in, fastball, right across the dish, knee high. Count goes 0-1. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter's box. Third base, Robertson is in on the lip of the grass with 2 outs. Pitch comes in low for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gus Sandberg is on deck. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Breaking pitch, swing and a miss. Ball's going to get loose off the body of Aiden Holly, the catcher. They'll insert a new baseball. The count goes 1-2. Working from the windup. Here's a pitch from Brummett. Low and away for a ball. And it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Working from the windup once again. Brummett, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He'll go down swinging, 3 outs. Knights are out of the inning. Gus Sandberg will lead off the next inning. And at the end of 4, Knights 3, Indians 2. And we'll also mention tonight's ball game is in parts being brought to you by Fritz and Fishers and Fritz in Noblesville, celebrating 43 years in business in the heart of the Nickel Plate District. That's late model cars and trucks. Each vehicle pre-delivery inspection. They have 2 Hamilton County locations. You can go to fritzandfishers.com. That's Fishers, Indiana, 8599 East 116th Street. You can reach them by phone in Fishers at 317-842-2228. Or you can reach them at their dealership on State Road 32 in Noblesville by dialing 317-773-2232. That's fritzandfishers.com. FRITZ. So they get some warm-up tosses. They got a new pitcher on the diamond for the Knights. And getting warmed up is DJ Gilkey. Gilkey wears number 33. Gilkey moves over from third base. And at third base now is Adriano. That's Tatum Adriano. He's getting warmed up at third base, thrown across the diamond. So getting ready to bat here in the top of the 5th inning, a 3-2 contest. Both these teams last year when they played, they split. Will they split again? We'll see. So getting warmed up right there, 33, DJ Gilkey. And as mentioned, now at third base, Tatum Adriano. So they're giving him a few more warm-up tosses right there. He had some bullpen activity. They were warming up Jonah Gerke over there, but they insert DJ Gilkey. So they throw it down to second base. Next batter in the lineup for Twin Lakes going to be number 9, Josh Crowell. Crowell going to bat in the 9 spot. He's the left fielder. Josh Crowell on the season. Entering the game, he's been to the plate 4 times. He's played in all 4 ball games for Coach Burton. So the Knights defensively ready to go. Right-handed batter's box, number 9, Josh Crowell. Infield playing straight away, outfield playing straight away. First pitch to Crowell. Outside. Velocity, he's got some speed there. DJ Gilkey, that was outside. Couldn't glove it. Goes back to the screen. Cooper Renback. So they're working from there. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Top of the 5th inning, a 3-2 contest. Knights by 1 run. Ball ends up above the zone. Nice grab there by Renback. Ball 3. So working from the windup, 1 foot on, 1 foot off. Right-hander, DJ Gilkey, and he'll throw a 4-pitch walk. Nothing to call a strike. Wow. I can't complain too much here. I tell you what. Wow. So 3-1. Here comes the pitch. 3-1 pitch. That's strike 2. 3-2 count. Home plate umpire taking some grief. He's staying calm and cool. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. Outside and tall, ball 4. So he'll jog down to first base, put his sliding mitt on. That's number 9, Josh Crowell, base runner here in the top of the 5th. Stepping in, it's going to be number 2, Cooper Dold. Cooper Dold, the leadoff batter in today's ball game. He's center fielder. Straightaway stance, Cooper Dold, batting .400 on the season. He's the leadoff guy. Out of the set position. Here's the pitch from Gilkey. Outside, going to get by the glove of Renback. Going to easily take second base. Right there, he is Indian. That's Josh Crowell at second base. 1 ball, no strikes. Top of the 5th inning. Getting a little bit chillier right now as that sun starts to go down. Here comes a pitch from Gilkey. Going to call a strike. Ball gets away from Renback. And Josh Crowell easily takes third base. So Josh Crowell is the tying run at third base with nobody out. Indians batting in the top of the 5th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cooper Dold, the batter. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Now the set position for Gilkey. He uses the double set. Here comes the pitch. Outside edge, going to call a strike. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Back in the rubber. Right there is Gilkey out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Reach for it. Kind of drop that stationary foot, that right foot, took the swing, and he'll go down on strikes. There's 1 out. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Next batter going to step in is Mason Brummett. He is the pitcher of record for Twin Lakes. So he'll step in, left-handed batter's box. They're going to call a balk. They're going to call a balk, and the run's going to come in to score. They're using the double set. I was looking at my notes. I didn't see it. But Coach Borden going to come out and see ask the umpire what he saw. So I'm going to jog out. Actually, he's going to be Renback having a conversation right there halfway to the pitcher's rubber, talking with 33, DJ Gilkey, and it's a tie ball game at 3. 1 out, top of the 5th inning, nobody on base. Mason Brummett is the batter. Peering in, looking at signals. DJ Gilkey. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Outside a ball with a fastball. He's got some velocity. He can bring it. So 33, DJ Gilkey. He's a senior. He's 6'2". Perfect size for a pitcher at 180. Pitch comes in outside a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Mason Brummett going to get a good look. Probably had a good pitch. Here comes a pitch from Gilkey. Outside edge, strike called. Knee high, count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. You'll step out of the box, pick up some signals from Coach Burton. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking at signals. DJ Gilkey. Adriano in on the lip of the grass at third base. He'll foul this one. Line shot out of play, left side. Could probably hear that. Pretty good sweet spot on that bat. He's got quick hands. That bat goes through the zone right now. Here comes a 2-2 pitch from Gilkey. Outside a ball. And the ball going to get by Renback. They'll put a new ball in play. 3-2 count to Mason Brummett. 2-hitter for Twin Lakes. Pitcher in this ball game. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. He'll walk to first base. He'll actually jog. And Brummett is aboard with 1 out. The Indians have 1 run in, tie the ball game with a balk call on the Knights. So they're going to have a conversation. Goot Wine's going to jog in, talk with DJ Gilkey. Put the glove up, hide the lips. With today's technology, you could actually use a cellular phone and use it as a camera and enlarge the camera picture. You can see lips if you want to read lips, I guess. Working out a stretch. DJ Gilkey out of set. Double set. Here's the pitch. Taking off for second base. Going to be a throw to second off target. Head first slide. Safe at second base. Here's Brummett. Pitch comes in. I believe it was called a ball. It was high and away. And in the batter's box is the 3-hitter, number 6, Carson Wagner. Carson Wagner playing a good shortstop position today. He'll step in, right-handed batter's box, facing the righty. DJ Gilkey, timeout on the diamond. Renback wants to go out and have some words with pitcher DJ Gilkey. So 0-1 count to Wagner. Runner at second base is Mason Brummett for Twin Lakes. There's 1 out. 0-1 count to Wagner. He'll step back in. Playing Wagner to pull just slightly in center field is Reisman. Out of set position, Gilkey. Here comes the 0-1. He'll take 1 fly ball right side, right field. Backing up is Schumer. They'll make the catch. They'll tag at second base. They won't have a throw. And the ball's going to get by third baseman Adriano. But backing him up was Gilkey. Gilkey, fundamentally sound, backing up the throw at third base. So 2 outs on the diamond. Next batter for Twin Lakes. Going to be number 28, the 4-hitter, Aiden Holly. That's right. Aiden Holly is the catcher. Runner at third base, go-ahead run, is Brummett at third. Out of set, here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Aiden Holly, right-handed batter. Looking for an RBI to the go-ahead run. Out of set, Gilkey. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Twin Lakes Indians batting in the top of the 5th inning. They have 1 run in, tied the ball game. Out of the set, Gilkey. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball, second base. 2 hops in the glove. Gutwein, he'll throw to first base, and Gerke would get the put out. So top of the 5th, Twin Lakes Indians get 1 with a balk call the runner at third base, ties the ball game at 3. Central Catholic on a bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll mention Indiana Beach. If you go to indianabeach.com, you'll learn quite a bit about this spring and about this summer. Indiana Beach, right up there, not too far away from Twin Lakes High School. So Indiana Beach, good place to have a lot of fun. And I will mention this game is also in part being brought to you by AGM Auto. AGM Auto. At AGM Auto, you'll not only be treated with pure professionalism, you'll appreciate their state-of-the-art diagnostics and their up-to-date status of each of the AGM technicians. And AGM doesn't only work under the hood. AGM works towards the recovery and restoration of the many now beautiful cars, which are now becoming showroom treasures mechanically and cosmetically. To contact AGM Auto, dial them up at 317-984-5283. Again, 317-984-5283. You can see them on Facebook at AGM Auto LLC. They're west of Arcadia, right off of 31, 266th Street, 4 miles to the east. So we're going to see in the batter's box here momentarily, we're going to see Gus Sandberg. Gus Sandberg, he's a pitcher. He'll be back, but he's going to bat here momentarily. They're going to throw one down to second base off the hand of Holly. They'll throw it around the diamond. They'll get the ball back. And it's going to be Gus Sandberg. Gus Sandberg wears number 30. Gus Sandberg going to step in. 5'11", 205. He's a junior. He's a pitcher, also plays first base. Holly wants to call timeout. Needs to go to the dugout. I'm going to pick something up. And he'll jog back behind the home plate. Bottom of the 5th inning. Gus Sandberg on deck is the one hitter for the Knights, Hudson Gutwein. Working from the windup, still in the ball game, Mason Brummett. First pitch outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Bottom of the 5th inning, a tie ball game at 3. Here comes a pitch. Inside and tight, ball 2. Gus Sandberg steps back in. Here's the wind and the pitch. Right across home plate, knee high, called strike. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Foul 1 back to the screen. Stay in that box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Working from the windup, left-handed pitcher, Mason Brummett. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. You're going to foul ball. You're going to go fair ball. That was off the plate. Sandberg lost his footing halfway to first base. It was going to be close. I tell you what, he hit that ball. It went straight down and got the plates. Made that thump noise, and it ended up fair right down the third baseline, about 30 feet. So there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Stepping in, Hudson Gutwein. Here comes the first pitch. Backdoor curveball in there for a strike. Mason Brummett with good placement. So steps back in. Batting 400, entering the ball game. Hudson Gutwein. And pitch comes in low. Breaking pitch for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's pretty brisk. Wind's blowing here on top of the press box. Pretty chilly. Getting chilly. Here's the pitch. Inside half, strike called. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gutwein maybe not in belief of that call, but he'll step back in. He's got 1 more strike. 1-2 count. Time. Mason Brummett might have quick pitched there. Hudson Gutwein not given ample time to step in and become ready for the pitch. So everything's good. Mason Brummett threw the pitch. Home plate umpire waved it off. Count goes 1-2. He'll step back in. Hudson Gutwein, senior class member. They have 4. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball, going to dribble around home plate. He'll stay in the box with a 1-2 count. So Mason Brummett has gone the distance. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Knights have bullpen activity. Here comes a wind and the 1-2 pitch. Be a ground ball right back to Brummett. He gloves it, throws over to first base, gets the put out with Goyer. Tate Goyer, and there are 2 out. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Next batter going to step in. It's going to be number 12. Schumer. Alex Schumer. So Schumer steps in with 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Lefty facing a lefty. First pitch comes in, a called strike. On deck for the Knights is Lucas Gerke. 2-hitter at the plate. Here comes a wind and the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. 0-2 count. 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th. Tie ball game at 3. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. He'll go down on strikes. Knights are out of the inning. At the end of 5 complete. Knights 3. Indians 3 will go the top of the 6th inning. We'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Scott G. Scott G, when time is good, when you share, you should. Share and share alike. Support Indiana middle school and high school athletics. And we'll mention also bringing you this contest is Camino and Company. CaminoandCompany.com. They're in downtown Noblesville. Camino and Company is a mobile flower shop brought to you by local flower farmers and providers, small business partners, and the CNC founders. Their mascot is a 1984 El Camino SS. That El Camino is owned by V.E. Witham. V.E. Witham is the grandpa of Carly. Carly Witham Elbrett, and Carly is the owner at Camino and Company. The goal at Camino and Company is to please each customer from their concept to the Camino and Company completion. You can reach Camino and Company online at camino-and-company.com. Camino and Company, mobile flower shop. They are now booking 2025 brides. So they throw one down to second base. Ren back, and they throw it around the horn. I'm going to put it back in the glove right there. And I'm doing the pitching in the ball game at the moment is going to be Mikey Stapleton. Mikey Stapleton being handed the baseball first time this season. And he's getting some warm-up tosses. He got them covered. And Mikey Stapleton going to pitch for the Knights. So, stepping into bat for Twin Lakes is number 28. Ball goes behind first pitch. And I'm just a bit outside. Stepping in is actually going to be a new batter. It's going to be first baseman Tate Goyer. Tate Goyer is going to step in. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball. Third base. Slow dribbler. Going to have a hard time making it. Makes the throw anyway. Safe at first. And no doubter as Gilkey had to field a ball right down the third baseline that had very little momentum. He threw it anyway to Gerke and safe at first with an infield hit. Right there is Tate Goyer. Next batter going to step in for the Indians, Austin Robertson. Austin Robertson, third baseman. Working from the stretch, Mikey Stapleton. Out of the set. Here comes the first pitch. Going to put a bunt down. Foul ball right side. So they'll start up and do it all over again. It's going to be an 0-1 count to Robertson. Come back. He'll hand him bat his run back. So Robertson step back in. He's getting signals from Coach Burton. Steps in, taps the plate. Out of stretch, checks first base. Now it's that position for Stapleton. Pickoff move, first base. Robertson was squaring the bunt again. Coach Burton trying to get that runner in scoring position in a tie ball game. Coach Burton, I tell you what, he is a veteran. He knows his stuff. Out of set position. Stapleton squaring the bunt. Robertson. You let the pitch go by, and it's a called strike. No balls, 2 strikes on Austin Robertson. He's a 6 hitter. Where's number 14, third baseman for the Indians? Out of set position. Mikey Stapleton, the 0-2 pitch. Right down the pike, and he'll set down. He'll jog back to the dugout. There's 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Bullpen activity once again down the right field line. Adriano is warming up. I should say, we'll double check that. Adriano might be doing the bullpen catching. We'll see. Out of set position, Mikey Stapleton. Checks first. Here's the pitch. Ground ball foul, just foul at first base on the ground. And the count goes 0-1. And I'm going to jog back to first base is Goyer. In the batter's box, number 33, 7-hitter, Peyton Houchin, second baseman. Out of the set position, Mikey Stapleton. Here comes the 0-1. Outside a ball. They're going to check with the B position umpire. He said, no, he didn't go. So the count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mikey Stapleton checks first base out of the stretch. Now the set position. He'll check it. Here comes the pitch. Right down meridian with a fastball, knee high. Count goes 1-2. Peyton Houchin, 7-hitter for the Indians. Back in the batter's box. He's a righty, right-handed batter facing the righty, Mikey Stapleton. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Foul ball. You go back to the screen. So we'll stay in the box with that 1-2 count. Peyton Houchin. So what they've got some young players. Twin Lakes Indians. I'm looking at them right now on the lineup right here. I should say on the roster. They've got some young ones. Swing a miss. Going to be a drop third, but the first base is occupied, not available to run. The count, that's the second out here in the inning. I look here and I see 1, 2, 3 upperclassmen. The rest of them are sophomores and freshmen. So Coach Burton bringing them up. They played well a few nights ago. Inside a ball. I tell you what, profile view, that pitch probably looked good, but it was inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Out of stretch, Mikey Stapleton. Aiden Garcia, the batter. Short off the glove. Good stop there by Cooper Renback. I tell you what, that ball could have easily got by him. 2 outs here at the top of the 6th inning. A 3-3 ball game. Working out a stretch, Stapleton. Checks first base, out of stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Gonna call that a strike. Outside edge. Count goes 2-1. Right-handed batter's box, Aiden Garcia. He's the DH. He's batting in place of defensive player Judd Gorton, the right fielder. Out of set, Stapleton. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 2-2. Kind of jammed him there. 2-2 count. Aiden Garcia, the 8-hitter for the Indians. Tie ball game at 3. Top of the 6th innings. 2 out. Here comes a pitch from Stapleton. Foul ball. We're going to get back to the screen. Might have ricocheted off a run back. Not sure, but it's a foul ball, and it's going to remain 2-2 with 2 outs. And yes, it's getting chilly up here. 2-2 count. Runner at first base. Working out a stretch. Checks first base. Stapleton. Now the set position. Here comes a 2-2. High. Hard to get. Hard to catch there. Run back off the glove. Into Crouch position. He had to reach up in a hurry. Mikey Stapleton's got quite an arm. I tell you what, he's tough. He's got an arm. He's a shortstop, so normally a shortstop can usually pitch. So it's a 3-2 count as the runner goes to second base. Scoring position right there. Tate Goyer. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of stretch, now the set. The 3-2 pitch. Low, ball 4. So Garcia jogs down to first base. They have 2 aboard, first and second. And next batter going to step in, 9-hitter, number 9, Josh Crowell. And Crowell entering the ball game. 4 plate appearances, 4 at-bats. So Coach Burton might be making an adjustment. Nope, he's ready to go. So stepping in is Crowell. That's Josh Crowell, left fielder. Runners at first and second base with 2 out. Top of the 6th inning. Peering over at first base, out of stretch. Time is called. Ball got loose in the bullpen down the left field area. That's Twin Lakes dugout. And a 1-2. Runners at first and second. First pitch to Crowell. Low and inside, ball 1. On deck, the leadoff batter for Twin Lakes, number 2, Cooper Dold. Peering in, looking at signals. Mikey Stapleton now is set, checks second base. Here's the pitch. Outside a ball. 2-0 count to Josh Crowell. Coach Burton now going to make an adjustment, and Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out, talk with his infield at the pitcher's mound. Coach Jake Burton going to show his lineup to the home plate umpire. And we do thank you for tuning in. I tell you what, it's a chilly, chilly day. Tomorrow going to be another ball game. Central Catholic going to host the Crusaders. I believe it's the Crusaders from Cecina Memorial High School. Last year they played over there. They were in the process of installing their field. Their right field fence area was kind of makeshift, but I'm sure their field is ready to go now. So they're going to put a pinch runner in at first base for Crowell. Coach Burton going to get some guys in the ball game. So they're working down there in the bullpen area, Twin Lakes. And getting warmed up down there. He's also going to put a pinch runner in at second base. Run out to second base is Brody Swigman. That's Swygman. That's Brody Swigman, number 32. He's a freshman. We'll try to capture the number of the pinch runner at first base here in a moment. So ball's live, working out a stretch. Now the set, Mikey Stapleton. Pitch comes in, Crowell. Crowell's going to pop it up on the infield. It's going to be called for by the shortstop, Mikey Stapleton, and he caught it in the spot a second baseman would usually catch it. But mission accomplished, they get the out, and the Knights get out of the inning. Indians leave 2 aboard, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Bottom of 6th inning, it's a 3-3 contest. And we do thank you for tuning in. We'll also mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Fritz and Fishers and Fritz in Noblesville, celebrating 43 years in business right there in Fishers on 116th Street. They're in the heart of the Nickel Plate District. Late model cars and trucks, each vehicle pre-delivery inspection. They have 2 Hamilton County locations, The first location is in Fishers at 8599 East 116th Street. You can reach them there by phone at 317-842-2228. Also, their second dealership is Noblesville. That's right there on State Road 32. And their phone number there is 317-773-2232. That's fritzinfishers.com. And you spell Fritz, F-R-I-T-Z. So stepping into bat, bottom of the sixth inning, Lucas Gerke, left-handed batter. And still on the pitcher's rubber is Mason Brummett. Jammed him, swing and a miss. No balls, one strike. Lucas Gerke has 3 RBI on the season. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Right down meridian, knee high, called strike. So we'll step back in. Lucas Gerke, as the pitcher for the Knights, has gone 13 innings in this early young season. Breaking pitch in, it goes outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Foul ball. Got the catcher, got the catcher. Holly took the brunt of that one. Tell you what, Holly's been dinged a couple of times in this ball game. He's a big guy. He can take it. So the count remains 1-2. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Breaking pitch. High for a ball. The Twin Lakes dugout wanted to strike. It was tall. It was inside. 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Popped up on the infield. Called for by the second baseman. And Peyton Houchin makes the play. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Next batter going to step in. He's now the pitcher of record, Mikey Stapleton. He's the 4-hitter. Mikey Stapleton wears number 11. He's got 1 RBI on the season. He entered the game, been to the plate 11 times. All 11 official at-bats. First pitch comes in. Strike called inside half. Mikey Stapleton has an on-base percentage of .573. Backdoor curveball misses outside. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Stapleton. Here comes a pitch from Brummett. Breaking pitch drops in for a strike. On deck for the Knights is 33, DJ Gilkey, 5-hitter. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Gonna be a shot, right side on the ground. Gonna get to right field. Went through the hole there at first and second. And a pretty good sweet spot off the bat there. Mikey Stapleton picks up a base hit. With 1 out, stepping in, DJ Gilkey. On deck for the Knights is number 3, Jackson Kane. So DJ Gilkey has a lively bat. He has 1 hit in the ball game. Here's your first pitch from Brummett. Full swing. Swing and miss. Let's pick it up here on top of the press box. I'm having to hold all these papers down. Becoming difficult. Here comes a pitch from Brummett. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Nice batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a tie ball game. Friday night, will we have extras? I don't know. They're going to make a pickoff move. They have to throw it to second, up to first. And the umpire there in the field calls a balk. And Coach Burton, I think he has a legitimate beef to walk out. He's going to have conversation with the infield umpire. It was a Brummett move. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, he wanted to throw to first base. He did. The umpire, I believe, is saying that his right foot, he's a lefty, his right foot started towards home, and then he went to first. That might be the call. And if that's the case, then he's doing a fine job. So 0-2 count. They're talking it over. Coach Burton going to walk back off the surface. And there's one out in the inning. Knights have one aboard at second base. 0-2 count. DJ Gilkey is the batter. Left-handed batter facing the lefty pitcher. Mason Brummett out of the set. Here's the pitch. Strike three. He watches the strike three. And with 2 outs, Jackson Kane will be the batter. So Knights have Mikey Stapleton at second base. He is the go-ahead run with 2 outs. Knights batting in the bottom of the 6th. So Jackson Kane steps in. Peering in looking for signals. Now out of the set. Checks second base. Checks it again. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Kane steps back in. Out of a set position. Here comes the pitch. Inside a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Jackson Kane going to step back in. Timeout called by the catcher, Aiden Holly. He's going to jog out. Talk with Mason Brummett right there at the pitcher's rubber. I tell you what, Aiden Holly's a big young man. I don't know how you get that big. Tell you what, when you work right there, and how do you get that big when you're only a sophomore? He steps back in, right-handed batter. Jackson Kane, left-handed pitcher, Mason Brummett. Here comes a pitch. High above the zone, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. On deck is 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Out of the set position, checks second. Here comes a 3-0 pitch. Ball 4, and Jackson Kane going to jog to first base. Ball was inside. Profile view probably looked like a strike. So more bullpen activity down the left field line. I believe it's Wagner. Wagner getting some tosses in. Might be Trey Hayworth. Don't quote me. It might be Hayworth. Number 5 or number 6. Here comes the pitch. In the batter's box is Van Kirk. Brennan Van Kirk wears number 41 for the Knights. Runners at first and second base. Tie ball game. Bottom of the 6th inning. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in high. Ball 3. Take that back. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Picking up the rosin bag right there is Brummett. Peer in, look at signals out of the stretch. Now the set. Check second base. 2-0 pitch. Right down meridian. Takes it for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Step back in. Right-handed batter. Brennan Van Kirk. Checking second base out of the set. Checks it again. Here's the pitch from Brummett. Swing and a miss. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So bullpen activity. They're going to walk back to the dugout. Twin Lakes Indians. Here comes the pitch. Going to foul one back, out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 aboard for the Knights. Bottom of the 6th inning. Tie ball game at 3. Ball's live. Working from a stretch. Now the set for Brummett. Here comes a pickoff move at second base. And he throws it wide, and they make the stop there. Wagner. I guess that had to be down the bullpen. That had to be Trey Hayworth. Because Carson Wagner is the shortstop. He's out on the field. My bad. Pitch comes in, swing and a miss. So we'll go down on strikes. And the Knights leave 2 aboard. And we'll go to the top of the 7th inning. Tie ball game 3-3. And again, we thank you for tuning in. And we thank our sponsors. We appreciate Reynolds Farm Equipment. They're family owned and operated since 1955. You can increase your yield. They've got tractors, combines, corn pickers, lawn mowers, etc. Genuine John Deere equipment. New and used equipment available. Extraordinarily the best in the business. Reynolds, visit them at their Atlanta, Indiana store. That store is located on US 31, 1451 East 276th Street. Atlanta, Indiana is the address. They're just 2 miles south of the Tipton-Hamilton County line. They have 5 locations. To reach Reynolds Farm Equipment, you can simply dial 800-333-6947. Again, their number, 800-333-6947. That's Reynolds Farm Equipment. So still back on the rubber is Mikey Stapleton. Going to pitch here in the 7th inning. Twin Lakes Indians visiting Central Catholic. 3-3 ball game. Going to come down to 1 inning. See if we end up going to extras. So they're getting ready to throw the ball around. Ren back, going to take a final warm-up toss from Stapleton. And they'll throw it down to second base. So stepping into bat, leadoff batter in the ball game for Twin Lakes, number 2, Cooper Dold. So he's going to step in, right-handed batter's box, see if they can generate a run or two. So he'll step in. Cooper Dold. Cooper Dold batting .400 after 4 ball games. He got 4 hits entering this game. Pitching from the stretch, nobody on base, Mikey Stapleton. First pitch to Dold. He'll take the other way. You're going to get the line. It's going to be a fair ball. Back into the corner. Reisman tracking it down. He's going to go for 3 bases. They're going to hold him up at second base. So a 2-base hit to start the 7th inning for the Indians. So next batter going to step in. It's going to be Mason Brummett. Mason Brummett has pitched 6 innings, pitcher of record. And Cooper Dold gets himself aboard with a shot down in right field. It landed probably about 80 feet from the fence, right inside the foul line. So Brummett, left-handed batter, runner in scoring position. Peering in, looking at signals, Mikey Stapleton. Now the set, he'll check second base. Checks it again. Here's the pitch. Brummett going to put a bunt down. Third baseline, just foul. Brummett trying to beat it out. He probably would have had an infield hit and moved the runner had that ball been fair. So he'll pick up the bat again, step back outside the box, get ready to go. Look at signals. Coach Burton giving some signals. Coach Burton trying to muster up a run here in the top of the 7th. Peering in, looking at signals. Mikey Stapleton out of the set position. Checks second. Second pitch, another pickoff move. He pirouettes, puts that left foot down towards second base, but doesn't make the throw. So he'll peer in again in the rubber. Gets signals from Renback. Long peer, now the set position, checks second base. Here comes a pitch to Brummett. He's going to try to bunt again. He'll go airborne on that bunt, but not catchable. So he'll pick up a second strike on that second bunt attempt. So they get the ball back to Mikey Stapleton. Runner is at second base. That's Cooper Dold. He got there by a double down the right field line. First batter here in the 7th inning. So 0-2 count to Mason Brummett. Mason Brummett, a sophomore by class. They've got one senior, and that senior not in the ball game as at the moment. And I look down here, they have 2 juniors. The rest are sophomores and freshmen. They've got a future. 0-2 count to Brummett. Here's the pitch. Foul ball. It'll dribble back to the backstop. He'll stay in the box with that 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes. Steps back in. Mikey Stapleton, right-handed pitcher, facing the lefty batting Mason Brummett. Runner at second base, modest lead. Here comes a pitch. Outside a ball. Kind of set up outside. He hit the glove, but it was outside a ball. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the 7th inning, a tie ball game at 3. Cooper Dold, second base runner for the Indians. Out of set, here's the pitch. Well outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Manicure in the dirt out there. Pitcher's rubber. Mikey Stapleton steps back in. Peers in, looks at signals. Looks at second base, out of the set. Here comes the 2-2. Outside a ball. Good play by Renback. Here's a breaking pitch. Lost the grip of it. It's a cool night. Pretty tough night to get a grip for a curveball. 3-2 count to Brummett. His step back in. Modest lead at second base. Don't want to get in any trouble. Don't want to erase a base runner. Alva said he'll check second base. Pickoff move back to second. No throw. He pirouettes clockwise and doesn't make the throw. 3-2 count. Brummett at the dish. Out of the set position. Stapleton. Here comes the payoff. Outside a ball. Knight's dugout 1 strike. Mikey Stapleton 1 strike. I tell you what, that's the flip of a coin right there. Stepping into bat, 3-hitter for Twin Lakes. Number 6, Carson Wagner. Carson Wagner, right-handed batter. Batting .273. He's got 3 hits on the season. That's in 4 ball games. This is game number 5 for the Indians. The Knights playing their 4th game of the season. Foul back, out of play. No balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Indians batting in the top of the 7th. 2 aboard, first and second base. Alice said, here comes the pitch, taking off for third base. They were trying to put a bunt down. It was going to be bunt and run. Dold was ready to go, but a foul ball off the bunt attempt by Wagner. So Wagner goes down the count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. 2 aboard, first and second for the Indians. Alva set, here comes the pitch. Going to strike him out. They're going to call him out on strikes. A little bit tall, but Wagner's not the type to complain. He is the captain, and he handles himself very nicely. Tell you what, he's a good man. So they're going to step in with 1 out. It's going to be the 4-hitter, 28, Aiden Holly. They call timeout. He'll step out of the box. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter, the catcher, Aiden Holly, sophomore. Out of set position, Mikey Stapleton. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, well placed, strike called. Stapleton with a good curveball. So the wind picking up. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. Tie ball game at 3. Alva set. Here comes, he's going to step off the back. Reset. Mikey Stapleton, he has that option. He steps off the back. He'll start again. As you know, the pitcher does control the pace of the game for the most part. Out of set position. Here's the pitch. Taking off. They're going to try to steal third, and they will. Ball's going to go into left field, trying to come in and score. Throw it to play. He's safe. Then they get a tag in. They go to third base on a steal attempt. They try to take third, and they do. So safe at home, going to break the tie. Cooper Dold scores the 4th run in the ball game for the Indians. 4-3 contest. There's 1 out. Counts 1-1 on Holly. Aiden Holly, the catcher. And Indians have a runner at third base. That's Mason Brummett. Let me double check that. Um, but anyway, runner at third base. Holly's going to be at the plate with a 1-1 count. 1 out. Indians have 1 run in here in the top of the 7th to break the tie. It's a 4-3 ball game. Indians have scored the last 4 runs in the ball game. So Knights playing defensively. Mikey Stapleton. Here's the pitcher, and they're going to start back up with 1 out, 1-1 count on Aiden Holly. Runner at third base. Working from the stretch, Mikey Stapleton now is set. Here comes the pitch. You're going to take a drive to right field, right at the right fielder making the catch. And so there are 2 outs on the diamond. Next batter we're going to see is going to be number 3, Tate Goyer. So there's a line rope shot right there. You kind of like the feel of a shot like that off the bat, but it was right at Knight defender. I don't believe that's Schumer out there. Schumer, not quite sure. He might have been substituted for. Can't tell. Here comes the pitch. Outside, Tate Goyer. Ball's going to get by Renback and coming in to score second run in the ball game, or second run in the inning to take a 5-3 advantage was Mason Brummets. So they try a check swing. They try to ask if he checked that swing. They said yes. So it's a 1-0 count to Tate Goyer. So walking out, Renback, catcher, going to have some words with Mikey Stapleton. And Tate Goyer at the plate, 1-0 count. There are 2 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Lights are on. It's shadowy. It's chilly. Out of set position. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. Finishes inside and tight. Ball 2. So the bases are empty. They had 2 aboard. They got them both home. It's a 5-3 contest. Indians in front. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. Inside. Ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Tate Goyer, first baseman. He's the 5 hitter for Coach Burton. He'll step in. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of stretch, now it's set. Stapleton, here comes the pitch. Right down Meridian, he lets it go by. Takes sign all the way. Count goes 3-1 with a fastball for a strike. Mikey Stapleton. Working from the stretch, peering in, looking at signals. Now the set position. Here comes the 3-1 outside a ball. So Tate Goyer jogs down to first base. Next batter, 6 hitter, number 14, Austin Robertson, third baseman for the Indians. Right-handed batter facing the righty, Mikey Stapleton. Not much of a lead there for Tate Goyer at first base. Here's the pitch. Outside and a little bit tall. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the set position. Here comes the 1-0. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out. Excuse me, 2 outs on the diamond for the Indians. They have 2 runs in. Broke the tie. It's 5-3. Pitch comes in, a ball. And they'll put it back in the glove of Mikey Stapleton. So working from the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Inside a ball. 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Batting in the top of the 7th inning. 2 runs in. Here's the pitch. Swung on. You're going to foul 1 right side. It's going to go out of play. So 2-2 count. And put the ball back in the hand of Mikey Stapleton. So Stapleton peers in, looks at signals. Alva set. 2-2 pitch. High and away. Ball 3. 3-2 count. With a runner at first base, that's Tate Goyer for Twin Lakes. Working out a stretch, now the set. 3-2 pitch, payoff pitch. Inside, you're going to call it a strike on the inside half. Knee high. And the Knights get out of the inning, but not before the Twin Lakes Indians pick up 2 in the top of the 7th inning. So the Knights going to try to rally. We're going to meet out in front of the dugout, have a little conversation. And we do thank you for tuning in. And we'll mention this game is in part being brought to you by Scott G. Scott G. That's Scott Gashaw. He's from Tifton. When time is good, when you share, you should. Share and share alike. Support Indiana middle school and high school athletics. We're back out on the pitcher's rubber again. It's Mason Brummett. He has gone the distance here in this ball game. And we do thank you for listening. We'll mention this game is also in part being brought to you by Noblesville Trophies. Noblesville Trophies, you can shop them online at noblesvilletrophies.com or stop in, if only to browse around. They're located at 1740 South 10th Street, Noblesville. Trophies, awards, plaques, and more. Fast turnaround, prices are low. They're so low, you may want to be a repeat customer. Noblesville Trophies. You can reach them at 317-773-7391. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Stepping in, Calvin Reisman. On deck is Vince Talenko. First pitch comes in outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike, steps back in. Right-handed batter, Calvin Reisman. Pitch comes in from Brummett. Right down meridian, strike called. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch from Brummett. He works quick. Foul ball back to the screen. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 7th inning, nobody out. Here comes the pitch. Backdoor curveball stays outside. Ball 2. 2-2 count. Brummett pitching from the windup. Here comes the pitch. Foul back, out of play. So we'll stay in the box with that 2-2 count. They get a baseball replenishment to the home plate umpire. Working from the windup, Mason Brummett, sophomore. Here comes the pitch. Right down meridian. Might have been the inside half. He'll set down looking. There's 1 out. Next batter going to step in for the Knights. Where's number 25? He started the game as the pitcher. He'll step in. That's Vince Talenko. So Mason Brummett going to pick up that rosin bag again. Step to the rubber. Pitch from the windup. Robertson in on the glip of the grass at third base. First pitch comes in, taken for a strike. Count goes 0-1. 0-1 count, Vince Talenko. There's 1 out here. The bottom of the 7th for the Knights. Swinging a foul tip, going to go back to the screen. Count goes 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Steps back in. Here comes the pitch from Brummett. Swing and a miss. So he'll go down swinging. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Next batter going to step to the plate. For the Knights, going to be the 1 hitter. He's their leadoff batter on away games. And that is Hudson Gutwein. And Coach Jake Burton might be making a pitching change. He's going to pick the ball up, and Mason Brummett going to go into center field. So they're going to bring a new pitcher in. He wears number 5, as mentioned, and that is Trey Hayworth. He's a sophomore, Trey Hayworth. going to get some warm-up tosses and throw the ball around right there. Hayworth has some velocity. First pitch gets by Holly, the catcher. And again, we thank you for tuning in. We'll remind you the Knights will play a noon game tomorrow here at Central Catholic. That noon game, Cecina Crusaders going to be in the house, I believe so. And should be a good ball game. A year ago, they had a good game on a Saturday over at Cecina. First time I had been there. I know I went to football camp back when I was a sixth grader at IU football camp, and the senior Cecina quarterback was in the camp. I got to meet him. His name was Glenn. I forget his last name. But anyway, this game is in part being brought to you by Lisa Stokes Bear. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21, real estate IQ that will work for the benefit of you. Lisa specializes in residential and corporate relocations. She has a vast knowledge with more than 25 years of question answering experience. Let Lisa look or let Lisa list your home. Each home is precious. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21. You can reach her by phone or text message. 317-513-4086. Again, her number is 317-513-4086. Next batter in the lineup going to be number 9, Hudson Gutwine. Hudson Gutwine, the first hitter in the lineup for the Knights. So 2 outs on the diamond, bottom of the 7th inning. Alex Schumer is on deck. First pitch in there for inner half, strike called. Sophomore pitcher number 5, Trey Hayworth. Out of the windup, here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch finishes right there above the head. It's ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hudson Gutwine, right-handed batter facing the righty Hayworth. Ground ball, shortstop, backhands it, throw across the diamond. Wagner, and making a good play at first base, Tate Goyer. And Tate Goyer takes an error on the throw away from Wagner. And that's going to complete tonight's ball game. Final score tonight going to be the Twin Lakes Indians 5, Central Catholic Knights 3. And the Indians and the Knights split their 2 games again this year. We do thank you for tuning in. We'll mention, no matter if you're home or away, if you're doing the teaching and the learning, don't let him go. Keep the fire burning.